Okay, we were talking about her book that she loves helping individuals have access with, with wheelchair access and whatnot, right? Because of your son, you have such an emotional connection to that. Well, you also love helping people overcome adversity. Well, if you start thinking about a year from now, your name should be identified as the person that helps create access to a new life and to maybe freedom, right? So your name equals access to individuals. So the book becomes your moniker, becomes your identity, and now you start identifying the lessons you want to teach others to help position you as that dream version of yourself. Does that make sense? So if you want to be the individual that sets people free, start identifying what did you do in your life that set you free. Did you start going to masterminds? Did you start saying yes to cruise ships? Did you start to get around badass people and start to learn from them? Did you start reading the right books? Did you start to change your circle? I would assume so. I've interviewed so many people. What's amazing is that most people all learn the same stuff. We're all saying the same things. But what's different is how we learned it. So if you can combine 15, this is a magic number in book creation, 15 lessons combined with 15 stories. Each chapter, I'm just thinking mathematically, we're talking about 1,500 to 2,000 words. That's like a blog post. You do that 15 times. You're going to shoot for a book that's about a 2.5-hour read. And it's going to make it easy for people to want to read the book like an airplane book, we call it. So 15 stories, 15 lessons geared towards a target audience. But these stories, these are the defining moments that we want to hear about. I tell you a little bit about my corporate experience, how much I hated it. I tell you about my philosophy on school, the reason why I can't stand it. I tell you a little bit about my failures for a reason. I want you to understand my backstory, much like everybody was talking about yesterday. So if you can identify the stories that define you, that made you you, like Matt, why did you get into e-com?
Because I read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah, see, there we go. The power of a book. So when you talk about that, by the way, that book is very unanimous within my circles. That changed a lot of people. I bring that up because I know it resonates. So that story right there, hey, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I didn't want to be a corporate employee anymore. Why don't I get into e-com? Start understanding wealth creation, right? That story is very, very important for other people to identify you. They want to know your backstory. This is a very powerful phrase I also live by. Nobody gives a shit about your life until you help them with their life. But nobody will trust you until they know your backstory. So I loved hearing from Lonnie yesterday, her backstory, why she believes a certain thing, how she doesn't drink. I don't drink anymore either. And I love hearing how it all came to be, because now I can connect the dots. Your job as an entrepreneur or a personal brand individual is to leave breadcrumbs behind you to say, this is where I came from. Are you with me? If not, leave or follow me. Let's go do some great things together. So your stories are so important. How you got to where you're at now, what you overcame, what you went through, you need to put it out there. The book will eventually turn into a blog post, into an email, into a text message, into a speech. Everything is connected. And all you do is you become better and better at storytelling. Plato, the writer for Socrates, we would never even know who Socrates is unless he had a ghostwriter named Plato. Plato says those who tell stories rule society. So become a great storyteller. And I'm sure you'll be hearing from a lot of wizards today on that.